Can you believe that one of the largest corporations on the planet, a company that owns hundreds of brands present in every corner of your home, from your toothpaste tube and razor to baby diapers, actually started with two impoverished immigrants and a remarkable twist of fate? They had no significant capital, no groundbreaking technology, and initially, they didn't even intend to work together. Yet, destiny, or rather, a visionary father-in-law brought them firmly together. The story of P&G isn't just a history of soap and candles. It's an epic tale of how to transform humanity's most ordinary needs into a colossal empire. If you're struggling to find startup ideas from seemingly small things, then this video is precisely for you. Our story begins in the 1830s, in Cincinnati, Ohio, a city famously dubbed Porkopolis due to its flourishing meatpacking industry. The abundant animal fat produced as a byproduct of this industry provided a cheap and readily available raw material for two specific craft trades: candle making and soap making. William Procter, a candle maker from England, and James Gamble, a soap maker from Ireland, both sought refuge in this promised land, fleeing poverty and instability in their homelands. Initially, they were like two parallel lines, or perhaps even competitors, as they both relied on the same primary raw material. But then, Cupid and a touch of destiny intervened. William and James both fell in love with and married two sisters from the Norris family, Olivia and Elizabeth. Their father-in-law, Alexander Norris, was a practical man, and during one family gathering, he looked at his two sons-in-law and offered a piece of historic advice. Why should you two compete against each other to buy surplus fat? Combine forces. Become partners. One a candle maker, the other a soap maker. Together, we will be stronger. In 1837, Procter & Gamble was officially born with a modest total asset base of just $7,192, a truly humble sum for what would become such a grand dream. At that time, they were simply diligent artisans, toiling day and night over hot vats of fat, with the simple aspiration of feeding their families and making a living in a foreign land. None of them dared to dream that the name Procter & Gamble would one day resonate globally after nearly 2 centuries. Their beginnings teach us a crucial lesson. Sometimes, the best partner isn't someone identical to you, but rather someone who complements you and helps you maximize your existing resources. However, the path of business is rarely paved with roses. Immediately after its establishment, P&G was confronted with the financial panic of 1837, one of the worst economic depressions in US history. Banks collapsed, and businesses failed en masse. For a nascent company like P&G, this was an extremely harsh trial, and it didn't stop there. The market at the time was a chaotic battlefield. Cincinnati alone had dozens of small-scale candle-making and soap-making operations. Their products were essentially identical: dull brown, pungent-smelling bars of soap and fast-burning candles. How could P&G make its name memorable amidst such a multitude of competitors? The biggest challenge arrived when the American Civil War erupted in 1861. The war brought division, disrupted raw material supplies, and introduced extreme instability. Many businesses chose to retrench, preserve capital, and simply wait for peace. P&G stood at a crossroads with two stark choices: either to shrink down and barely survive, or to play a high-stakes, all-in gamble. At this juncture, fear was palpable. Was investing in expanded production during wartime a suicidal move? What if the army didn't pay? What if their factory was destroyed? These were the sleepless nights of William and James. They understood that if they didn't find a way for their products to reach beyond the confines of Cincinnati, they would forever remain local artisans, eventually swallowed by the currents of history. Immense pressure weighed on the founders, forcing them to make life or death decisions. It was during this dark hour of the Civil War that P&G made a daring move that completely changed their trajectory. Instead of retreating, they decided to bid for contracts to supply soap and candles to the Union Army. It was a huge gamble. To fulfill this enormous order, they had to operate their factories at full capacity, disregarding the inherent risks. The result? Thousands of soldiers carried P&G soap and candles onto the battlefield. When the war concluded, These soldiers returned home, bringing with them a newfound habit of using P&G products. They effectively became the most loyal and free brand ambassadors possible. Overnight, P&G transformed from a local brand into a household name across America. However, the truly revolutionary product breakthrough came from an accident. In the 1870s, a worker accidentally left a soap mixing machine running, incorporating far too much air into the batch. Instead of simply discarding this ruined batch of soap, P&G analyzed it and discovered a unique property. The bar was light and could float on water. Rather than burying the mistake, they transformed it into an unparalleled competitive advantage. Thus, Ivory Soap was born with its legendary slogan, "It floats." In an era when many people still bathed in rivers and lakes, a bar of soap that wouldn't sink was nothing short of a genius invention. Furthermore, P&G sparked a marketing revolution. Recognizing that their primary customers, homemakers, regularly listened to the radio, P&G began sponsoring the production of serialized radio dramas, strategically embedding soap advertisements within them. The term soap opera originated directly from this innovative strategy. They weren't just selling soap, they were selling content and emotions, subtly infiltrating the minds of their customers. P&G taught us to turn an accident into a feature and to be present where your customers are entertaining themselves. Moving to their zenith and philosophy, we delve into the birth of brand management. P&G didn't simply rest on the success of Ivory. As they continued to expand and develop, a new problem emerged. With too many products like Camay soap, Tide detergent, and Crisco shortening, how could they manage them effectively without one product cannibalizing another? In 1931, a young employee named Neil McElroy penned a 3-page memo proposing what was at the time a radical idea. Each brand should be operated as a separate entity, complete with its own management team, distinct strategy, and even at times compete against one another. This groundbreaking concept marked the genesis of the brand management system, the very foundation of modern marketing today. Thanks to this philosophy, P&G experienced explosive growth. They created Tide, the first synthetic detergent capable of tackling stains that ordinary soap couldn't. They brought us Pampers, liberating millions of mothers from the endless chore of washing cloth diapers. They went on to acquire iconic brands such as Gillette, Pantene, and Head & Shoulders. P&G's core philosophy isn't merely about selling goods. It's encapsulated in their motto, touching lives, improving life. They are relentlessly obsessed with consumer insight, willing to spend billions on R&D just to find a way to make a diaper a little more absorbent or a razor blade a little smoother. The true pinnacle of P&G's success isn't their $100 billion sales figures, but rather their irreplaceable presence. Just glance around your bathroom. Chances are you're holding a P&G product without even realizing it. That, my friends, is the soft power of a true empire. In conclusion, and to share a final message, from a small candle-making and soap-making workshop in Cincinnati, reeking of animal fat, P&G navigated a civil war, economic crises, and fierce competition to become the world's #1 FMCG giant. The journey of William Procter and James Gamble leaves us especially young aspiring entrepreneurs with a profound lesson: never underestimate humble needs. Great success doesn't necessarily have to stem from world-changing ideas like flying to Mars. Success can emerge from simply helping a homemaker get clothes cleaner or enabling a child to sleep better thanks to a dry, comfortable diaper. Their persistence in the face of adversity, their mindset of transforming an accident into an opportunity, as seen with Ivory Soap, and their courageous pioneering of new methodologies, such as brand management, were all critical keys to their success. So, my dear friends, what business idea are you currently nurturing? Don't be afraid if it seems too mundane. Remember P&G's floating bar of soap. The important thing isn't what you sell, but rather how effectively you solve your customers' problems. Now, here's a question for you. If you accidentally created a product with a flaw that surprisingly resulted in a unique feature, would you discard it or find a way to market it, just like P&G did? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to join us in exploring more invaluable business lessons. We'll see you in the next video.